What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing. You guys are thebomb.com. Now, in today's video, I am back with a budget recap to share with you guys how it's been going for the month of July 2025. Okay, so I am inside of my income budget planner, and I am going to start with the week of July 20th to 26th. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Let me zoom in because I want to make sure y'all get these real numbers. Oh, that was a bit much. Okay, so first off, let's talk about how our income looked for this week. First off, we had Micah's W-2 income. Normally it is about 60, no, not 6, girl. Normally it is about 3,300. This time it was $36.25. Next is my sister-in-law's income. I'm talking kind of loud on purpose because it's going down in the back, okay? We got breakfast on the grill. My boo, my daughter, and her friend are cooking. So sister-in-law's, my goal is always to bring in at least $1,500 per week. This week we brought in $2,110. Then my virtual assistant, I usually make about $1,500, and that is exactly how much I made this month. And I think that was it. Oh, we can't forget about y'all. I made my YouTube minimum of $100, and we made $135. I knew it was going to be $135 because they show us at the end of the previous month. So if you add all of that up, you get a total income for the week of $7,370. Yes. Okay. Now, let's talk about how we're going to spend it. First up, we're going to pay our one high interest credit card that we have left, that we are knocking out. The minimum is $811, so that is what came out on auto pay. Then this paycheck is really dedicated to all of the credit cards that we have paid off in full in the month of June and the early part of July, and they still charge interest one more time. And so we know to always go back and check all of those cards. It takes so long to check all 12 of them that we have paid off. But so the RA credit card, my business credit card, number one, because I have two business credit cards for RochelleAdamson.com, it came to $685. And that was for a series of things. So, of course, budgeted was $0. We didn't know how much it would be. But this is not just interest, but my website annual fee. I paid for vidIQ, Hootsuite, and undebt.it. So I will be using that to share a debt update video with you guys very soon. Excited! Next up, I paid out my team of contractors. We usually pay them $650 per month, and that is exactly what we paid them. Then we had our usual spending that gets direct deposited into our spend account of $500. Then Micah's Apple credit card, we had to pay, let me see, Mike Apple, I thought it was going to be $0. It was $425. Now that is for a series of things. One, Micah ended the Apple family plan. And so one last transaction hit from the family where they purchased our cloud storage for the month. And so that, Micah was just like, it's okay. Everybody's setting up their own plans. So we kind of ate that. And then there were some other transactions on there. I'm trying to remember what it was. Our Apple bills, Micah has his Apple subscriptions like Apple One, Premiere, Crunchyroll, all that type stuff. So this is like stuff that all hits at the end of every month. So total $425. Next month, it should be back to like under $100. What else? My personal credit card, it's usually $416, and that is what it was. Well, I estimated it to be that, and it was. Micah's credit card was $367. They send the bills in advance, so I'm able to budget pretty close on those two credit cards. we took ourselves out for a dinner, and also I bought Micah a gift, and so that came to $280. So I'm going to call this category extra spend because we didn't do anything to celebrate paying off those 12 cards. And so I said, we're going to do this and just spend it on Micah. I didn't honestly want anything. So we just did whatever he wanted to do that day. Then we bought a tent sign for Eva's business, and that came to $237. So that goes under her credit card, $237. Micah got his usual money, his personal play money, $200. And then I had to set aside money for Sister Locke's tax. I usually budget $100 per week. This week I set aside $200. We got some extra categories over here, y'all. Sister Locke's credit card, we thought it was going to be $0. It was $185, and that is interest. I paid for a course, and I paid for Netflix, Hulu, and an Uber, because sometimes I travel to go and do hair. So $185 for that. Then my Apple card, y'all, I told you, so many. This is why I'm so glad these are all gone. Came to $147. That was my MoGo, my Monopoly Go, $5 a month, my one entertainment expense, and then interest one last time. Then we had Venture, nothing, you guessed it, y'all. You guessed it, interest. That was $117. Then we set aside tax money for my income that I brought in from RochelleAdamson.com. We budgeted $100, and that is how much we set aside. Then cash, which I haven't even grabbed from the bank yet, but we're going to grab $80. So I'll just share that in an upcoming video. That is going to be for our phone sinking fund. So, I should actually put that over here. My bad. Cash, 80, 80. And that is for our phone sinking fund. And some things I still choose to save in cash, right? The two things that come to mind are my phone sinking fund category, because literally Micah gets money on his paycheck every 2 weeks. That is a line item that says you're getting paid out for a phone. So I really want to save that money and be intentional with it in case we truly do have to replace a phone. We have 3 phones right now. All the phones are in pretty good shape, but you just never know. The second category that I save in cash still for is car insurance, and that is because it is so high. Our car insurance is $1,200 right now and going up every 6 months. That is ridiculous, and I just don't want to slip up and not have that money set to the side. So, boom, that's that. Then we are going to invest. So even though we don't have any savings this week, we did invest. So I didn't plan on budgeting anything for investing, but we ended up doing, 50. And then we had to pay for our car to be charged. We had 2 charges totaling $44, because normally we just get one bill at the end of every month, but this time we actually charged at the 2 Tesla. They put up a new supercharger, and we actually did go and visit friends a couple weeks ago, and so the Tesla charges go to a credit card. So I need to figure that out and put it on our debit card, but it is what it is. But to fill up twice in 1 month to go all the way across the island, $44, that's really not bad. Then I had an extra $35 that I gave out to my team as a little extra for all their hard work. So $650 plus 35 is $685. So I need to adjust that. And then we had a total of $21. Y'all, this is so funny how we run another run. Spark credit card is my other business RA credit card, and that got $21, and that is for Chat GPT. I pay for that. Okay, I use Chat GPT and Canva, baby. because the thoughts are, I like to refine my thoughts and ideas and get organized. And I have found that it works really well, especially when I'm working and doing a lot of admin work for my clients. I like to make sure everything looks really nice. And then the last category is our rental property credit card. Told you we went through all of them, y'all. And we had a total of $20 for that one. That is for an HVAC subscription. So that basically we pay $20 per month. And if we have any plumbing, HVAC, water heater, AC type issues, a tech will just come out for no charge at all and give us a quote or fix it right on the spot. And so that's what I just feel like our systems in our rental property are starting to get older, and I'm just trying to get ahead of it, honestly, because I don't have a whole lot of money set aside for in case something happens for the rental property. I'm working to build that back up. Okay, y'all, that's it. If you add all of this up, you get $73.70. Shoo, it's a lot of shmoney. So this is a total of $380. This is a total of $685. And you know what? I have not been checking to make sure y'all can see. My bad. Okay, y'all can see. Y'all can see. Let's see. This one is $980 plus 44, and that's a total of $1024. And then everything else went to debt. $811 plus $685 plus $425 plus $416 plus $367 plus $237 plus $185 plus $147 plus $117 plus $21 plus $20. That totals $3,431. And this is why I love coming back and sharing these types of videos with you, because yes, we paid off 12 credit cards, but those credit cards still can charge us interest one more time. Just because you pay off a credit card in full doesn't mean you're done. And so highly recommend going back and logging back into those accounts at least one more time after the billing cycle has ended and they have charged their interest the following month or the following billing cycle. And so I'm really happy with this. I am really happy with this. So if we do our recap, we had a total of $7,370 minus bills and debt is a total of $4116 plus our sinking funds, which was $380, plus our savings, which was $50. It's so crazy. We're really going to work on that, y'all. Miscellaneous expenses was $1,024. And cash, we'll put a line because we added that already. So that gives us a zero-based budget. So the other thing I like to do is to add up our two, which was $4116. What percent of $73.80 is $4116? Whoops. What percent of $73.70 is $4116? Okay, so 55% of our income this week went to bills and debt. So half our income. And that's how we're looking. So I wanted to show you guys how it went for the previous week, the week that I kind of missed. And that is because we truly didn't have a lot of income. So quickly, I'll just plug in these numbers. We did not get paid for our virtual work that week. So that came in the following week. Oh, you know what else I'm missing? I'm so sorry, y'all. We got to go back to the budget. I knew those numbers were not right. You know what's missing? We made a HELOC payment because we had some money left over. So instead of the $34.31, I'm glad I remembered that. I would have been so mad. $1,800 we paid. Plus 1,800 equals, because I was like, those numbers that still doesn't look like it adds up. 5231. Okay, so really it was 5231 plus 685, which would give us, this is why I love erasable pens, would give us 5916. What percent of 7370 is 5916? I be putting Siri to work, baby. That is 80%, y'all. And the reason why we were able to do that is because we paid all our bills already for the month. So with the first 2 or 3 paychecks, we knock out our bills. And so the 4th and 5th paychecks in a long month, we are able to really accomplish some goals. So, okay, that is correct now. Whew. So for the previous week, and I had estimated I would make about $600. I made $788. How I chose to spend it was to send $400 to the HELOC, $288 to spending, $100 to my sister locks tax, and that's it. That was a nice easy budget. So 0, 0, and 0, 288. And this is what I do every week, y'all, whether I'm on camera or not. So I think we're just locked in right now in terms of really making sure that we have paid all of our credit cards off to a 0 balance and that they are still at a 0 balance. I think that's what we're using the end of July for. And also to start just go ahead and getting in the habit of sending any extra money to the HELOC, because August 1st is right around the corner and we're going to be using the velocity banking for the HELOC. So let's talk about the last week and what I plan to do to close out July. This is why I do not do a July budget recap until the end of the month, because like it's down to the wire. I plan on bringing in $1,385 between July 27th and July 31st. I plan on giving $175 to family, $150 to spending, $150 to sister lock tax, and what does that leave me? $1,385 minus $175 minus $150 minus $150 leaves us $910 that I can put toward the HELOC. So that is my goal. Now, let me close out with this and show you how it's going so far. Oops. Okay. So far in the month of July, we have brought in a total of $17,080. Here's our week by week breakdown. And this is why it's so important to budget as the money comes in, because otherwise you could have money slipping out that you don't even realize. And so let's talk about how we were able to spend it in across these 5 main categories. Our goal is to bring in a total of $18,468. So we are almost there. 18,468 minus 17,080 means that I only need to make another $1,388 next week to meet our goal. So far we have sent, if I go to my monthly view, a total of $4,541 to our debt snowball. So that means credit card interest on cards that have already been paid off, credit cards that still have to be paid off, like Prime and Micah's personal credit card and my personal credit card. Oh no, I'm lying. My bad. That does not include those. The debt payments includes that. So $4,363 would be our car payment, the Prime credit card, and the other 2 low interest credit cards that we have left, because we have a total of 15 credit cards, and the minimum on the HELOC. Okay, so that's the debt payments. The debt snowball would be all the credit card interest that we had to pay despite paying those cards down to 0. Bills came to $2,038. So just put a little line, say right there. Spending got $1,853. And I don't really get in my head too much about spending, because I know that we spend $1,000 per month on food and household expenses. And I know that there's always like $500 to $1,000 in anticipated expected expenses that I'm just not capturing in real time at the beginning of the month when I'm doing that budget. I know that we spend about $1,500 to $2,000 per month on things like getting ready for going back to school, car repairs, cash flowing anything that comes in, tickets, fees, doctor copay bills. I have a bill I gotta pay now. It's just like it's just always like that. And so I'm making sure that every week I'm intentionally knocking those things out. Last category is the HELOC. The HELOC so far has received $1,800 from us this month. So these numbers right here are the percentages. So we have spent 26% of our income so far toward our debt snowball, 25% to debt payments, 12% to bills, 11% each to spending and the HELOC. So that everything else, I think it's like a little bit left. 100 minus 26 minus 25 minus 12 minus 11 minus 11. The other 15% is to just smaller categories like saving and investing, sinking funds, and things like that. So that is it for our July update video so far. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know how your budget is going so far, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, you know what it is. Peace, love, and budgets.